All right, guys. So we got some breaking news here. I was actually in the middle of Tuesday night's main event when this happened. DOGE is real. Caroline Levitt actually announced this on X, Twitter, whatever. Statement from President Donald J. Trump. I am pleased to announce that the great Elon Musk, working in conjunction with American patriot Vivek Ramaswamy, will lead the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Together, these two wonderful Americans will pave the way for my administration to dismantle government bureaucracy, slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, and restructure federal agencies essential to the Save America movement. This will send shockwaves through the system and anyone involved in government waste, which is a lot of people. Now, the reason I want to read it in its entirety before I give you my thoughts, because there's some very interesting things, particularly in the last paragraph. But just to continue on, it says it will become potentially the Manhattan Project of our time. Republican politicians have dreamed about the objectives of DOGE for a very long time. To drive this kind of drastic change, the Department of Government Efficiency will provide advice and guidance from outside of government and will partner with the White House and official management and budget to drive large-scale structural reform and create an entrepreneurial approach to government never seen before. I look forward to Elon and Vivek making changes to the federal bureaucracy with an eye on efficiency and at the same time making life better for all Americans. Importantly, we will drive out the massive waste and fraud which exists throughout our annual $6.5 trillion. You guys can't conceptualize just how much money that is. Of government spending. They will work together to liberate our economy and make the U.S. government accountable to we the people. Their work will conclude no later than July 4th. That's interesting. So they have a deadline to essentially conclude their work, and they hope to have a smaller government with more efficient and less bureaucracy, more efficiency and less bureaucracy, and that'll be the perfect gift to America on the 250th anniversary. Wow, that's what they're lining it up with, 1776. Gotcha. The Declaration of Independence, I am confident they will. It's a document that often people don't ever read because it explicitly states that it is the right of the people to abolish and or alter the government. That's it. The reason why this is intriguing, it just says everything wrong with government. It's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? Hilarious. You create a department to try to make the government more efficient. That doesn't sound like it makes a lot of sense. Nonetheless, here we are. Now, Elon floated the idea of obviously consulting with Ron Paul, which I hope he does stick to with this regard. How much power does this new department actually have? Who knows? But we all know that government is inefficient. As all get out, it is basically a way for the government officials, the state agents, to enrich themselves. And it's really been that way, especially since the Fed has been conceptualized. And it is unfortunately a monster in which they have zero incentive to actually correct any issues, to cut spending, because that would essentially meaning cutting their own jobs. So they have to be very, very rooted in their philosophy in order to actually be serious about reforming. And with reform, and I don't really like that term because it's not what you need. You don't need reformation, you need elimination. You need to really get rid of what already exists and replace it with nothing, in the cases of a lot of these government programs, if not all of them. Now, I can make that argument for the all, but I know a lot of people aren't quite there yet. But you can say, and I think the blueprint was laid, though it's a much different country, and it had to get very worse off for Argentina to finally actually want to elect an anarcho-capitalist of all people. And his job is to really leave it a lot less government in existence in comparison to when he actually got in. Is that going to be the approach here? I don't know. You've heard them float around like 70%, of the government basically can go. And yeah, I'd argue 90 of it could go and you wouldn't know a damn difference. Your life would be actually better off if you had these crooks, but that's a completely different issue of taxing. If you had these crooks stealing a lot less from you, but anybody is a fool that thinks that you need $6.5 trillion for these clowns to exist. Otherwise, you wouldn't get more roads. You wouldn't get any of that nonsense. Welfare statism is all out of control, and it all starts with the actual spending, of course, in conjunction with the bureaucracy in itself, where you have these fake jobs that exist among the government. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully he does reach out to Ron Paul. I know he's up there in age, but the ideas are still there. And at least understanding that this stuff has got to go. And you got to be unapologetic, because there's going to be a lot of fear mongering. If you get rid of this, look, government could mandate that shoes be provided by them, as in let's say the state monopolized it and it had to go through the government. It would take you only one generation to where if you wanted to go back on it, people would claim that you didn't want people to walk. You didn't want poor people to walk. How would the people walk? Asking these stupid questions, because people are addicted to government, right? And anticipate that they're going to fear monger any event that this is actually real. This isn't just a meme, and they're actually going to try to get rid of 70% of the government. Again, needs to coincide with the spending for sure, but who knows? We'll see. Thanks for watching. Be sure to head over to Rippaverse.com to check out our comic book company. We have books, plenty of merchandise, and even some glorious animations from Rippaverse Studios.